Hello, this is the YouTube philosopher brother Carroll, and finally I'm getting around to doing some one-on-one videos, and this video is directed to the intellectual juggernaut David Carroll. David, my brother, I love you, but I have to say that your view that you present to the black man, you teach that repetition is the mother of skill, and I definitely say that practice makes perfect, but sometimes you can do things over and over and over again expecting different results, and to do the same thing over and over again expecting different results is a repetitious activity, but it's foolish, because that's what they call the definition of a fool, is someone who does things again and again expecting different results is a fool. So the purpose of you making all of these videos where you call the ignorant Negro Bojangle, buck dancing, shine, I kind of have to find myself seeing you as being the most Bojangle, ignorant shine. And the reason why you wear your sunglasses is because you can't see for the shiny glare of the camera lens, shooting back at you. I also see that you had mentioned that you have a daughter. And here it is, you had made this daughter by the black woman. There was a black woman who had a beautiful dress and a big booty, and you even said it yourself. You declared these things yourself. So I'm not putting words in your mouth. These are things that you have revealed, and I believe that everything God says in his word, everything works together for good. So it wasn't by accident that you declare that it's the high heels, big booty, and a short dress. Those are the things you find interesting and attractive to the black woman. Maybe you need to look a little deeper at the black woman and seeing that she was made to be a help to you. She wasn't made to be just a tool for you to dump your semen in and for her to be a cum bucket. That's what you have done. You've tried to turn these women into cum buckets and what a lot of other men call nut busters. I think all of these terms are not terms that most women, if they were spoken to directly by men, and black women, you must understand that black men do talk about you in these terms in private conversations with one another. I think it's very dishonoring that they would be willing to brag about their sexual encounters amongst each other, because sex was supposed to be a very private and intimate thing, but it's become more of a sport where black men are, judging their skills and prowess for being able to take advantage of the woman. And a lot of times now the woman trying to be like the men, that, it's a double standard. It's wrong that a man can go out and do this and women can't. I say it's wrong for both to go out and do these things, because God has declared in his word it's so. Now, he made it so, and he said that for you to do these things, you are going to suffer. You will suffer loss. You will suffer ultimately, you're going to suffer punishment. God is going to give you justice for violating his word. And he says in his word that on the day that we die, it's appointed for us to be judged. So God is going to judge us. If he judges us, you would want somebody to judge fairly and be just. So in giving us justice, if we violated the law, there's nothing to say in terms of, it was extenuating circumstances. I think that whole train of thinking is wrong in the legal system. It should be very crystal clear that, hey, when you violated the law, punishment should be dispensed with and swiftly. So here we are, we're living in this reality where we're running around here thinking that we can do whatever we want and not pay a price. And God said in Romans 1 that that the justice of God is revealed. I'm kind of misquoting it, but the whole thing is God has made it plain. He's told us his purpose for us being here and what we are to do. Now, when we don't do it, we don't have to wait for fire and brimstone to come down. All we have to do is look around and look at the devastation and destruction. If you think living in the black community is a great place to live, then you are probably the most idiotic black person in the world. It'll be a good place when we start honoring each other. And how do you honor? What is the standard upon which you develop this concept of honor? There has to be a universal concept. The Bible, I think, is probably the best concept because you know what? That Bible was given to us from God. If somebody wants to say it isn't, then prove to me it isn't. Don't sit here and just make statements and claims without demonstrating. I can tell you that I can demonstrate to you, and if you watch some of my videos on my channel, I did that. I interacted with some people that had the very same foolish knowledge about this world, and they tried to disprove God, and I was able to logically, through demonstration, through a method to prove the existence of God. Now, with that being said, I pray that David Carroll would stop putting out these hypocritical views. You know, you want to talk about black men and what they are doing and how they are the most idiotic people on this earth. They can't think logically. Well, you know what? You are a clear demonstration of that fact, because on one hand, you tell these black men that they are stupid and idiotic, and on the other hand, you act stupid and idiotic. I'm pretty much willing to guess that this baby, this daughter that you had, was born out of wedlock. You did not marry this woman. You did not honor her by telling her, look, we need to wait because God told us that we need to wait until marriage. Marriage is honorable and the marriage bed should be undefiled. He didn't say it should be undefiled by the woman. No, he said the marriage bed should be undefiled. That means the man should be chaste. The woman should be chaste. Case closed. If you can show me any situation in the Bible where God condones fornication, I'd be willing to repent. And don't give me examples of King Solomon. He had all these wives, and David and this. You know what? If you can't read that book and see the damage that was done for David doing what he did, if you can't see the damage that was done for Solomon doing what he did, I don't know what else to tell you. But let's just look at Mr. David Carroll as a case study. He ends up hooking up with this woman, has a baby, doesn't want to marry her, doesn't want to have nothing to do with her, says he can't deal with her, and they are now the best of friends outside of the household. Well, you know what? That's just what the devil wants you to do. He wants you to violate God's law and be at peace with violating God's law instead of fighting the good fight, paying attention to the goal. You got to look at the goal. What is the goal in life? The goal in life is to honor God. So you dishonored this woman by having this child out of wedlock. You dishonored the daughter that you have produced by calling her and disgracing her and saying that the black woman is an idiot. You know, I mean, I don't understand how you get your philosophy and why you can't see the hypocrisy of it in your own life. So David, before you make one more video, you say you don't want to argue with anybody, but the argument that you have is with your own philosophy. You say the black woman is not crap. You say that she's nothing. But the ironic thing is God made you to create the very thing that you talk so terribly about. So in order for you to not be a hypocrite, why don't you teach your daughter the things that will be God honoring in her life? For you to put these videos up, if your daughter managed to watch these videos, I would hate to think what would pop into her mind listening to you talk about her. This doesn't make any sense, my brother. I love you. You are very wise. You are very intelligent. But your wisdom has been perverted and twisted to fail to see the very thing that you are railing against is the very thing that you are all about. So God said in his word in the New Testament, Jesus was speaking. He says, don't sit here and judge your brother before taking you see a splinter in your brother's eye, and you want to be critical of this splinter that he has, but he says you have a log, you have a mote, you have something even larger in your own eye, and it's impeding your clear view to see just what's going on with your brother, to really help him and deal with him. So I'm not coming from a position of hypocrisy, because I'm willing to acknowledge what I did wrong in the past. You have yet to acknowledge one thing in your life that you have chosen to change and to do differently, which really obstructs and obscures the message that you want to deliver to your people. So until you do that, you need to be quiet, or you need to change the situation in your own life first as a demonstration of your philosophy. And then from there, people will actually hear and understand what you're trying to say. So I'm not coming from this position of self-righteous. So many times when I speak of things, I always acknowledge, you know what, I used to do these things, but you know what, God showed me a better way. And in doing what he has commanded me to do, everybody hates this word obedience, but you know what? You will have to serve somebody. I've heard a song. I can't remember who wrote it, but he was the guy who's, he was on that We Are the World. Crazy hairdo. Angie, what was the name of that artist? Can't even think of his name, and she's out of my hearing to respond to what I said. So look up We Are the World. There's this crazy haired white boy, and he wrote a song. I think you could probably even just YouTube it and it'll pop up. He says, you got to serve somebody. Serve somebody. You know, you're going to serve somebody no matter what you do. You think you're serving yourself? Well, you're serving somebody. Okay. So with that being said, I just say, peace to you, David Carroll. I hope this video gets you to stop being the hypocrite that you are. And hopefully you can start doing things to honor God, because you continue to make these videos. God is going to make it very clear to you that you are a fool. If you don't see it already, you are a fool. Because true enough, repetition is the mother of skill. But what skill are you trying to develop in doing these stupid, idiotic videos? I think it's stupid for you to even call the black man stupid. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? A black man spouting off idiotic philosophies. So let's not set up things for white people to laugh and mock and make fun of us. Let's make things that make sense. Make some sense. This is my challenge to you. Peace and blessings. And brother, I end this video to tell you that I'm giving this message to you in love. And if anything I said offended you, please forgive me for the offense. But I love you enough, because they said more. God says in his word, there are no more wounds more faithful than the wounds of a friend. Your friend will risk being your enemy to tell you what you need to know than what you want to know. So with that, peace unto you, and peace to all who hear and obey God's word.